Good morning, Regina. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm good, Danielle. How about yourself?
I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. It's been a pleasure to speak with you thus far this morning about some of your experience and going over your resume. So now I'd like for you to have the opportunity to share in your own words a little bit about what you've been doing your last few jobs, how it pertains to managing documents and working with the charts and such that you were working with. That was at Advent, correct?
Yes. So as
Okay.
far as to the position that I had with Advent, with that, it started on site. The discharge records were brought over to the office, and I would take those discharge records, which would be like um, prior authorizations, consents, medical records, anything of that nature, sometimes from like pregnancies or labors. Scan it into the Epic system, which was a fairly new system at the time. Make sure that everything on the document was legible. If it was not, I would make sure that I would get it stamped accordingly to advise, if it had to be pulled for like any legal reasons or anything of that nature, that it wasn't something that we did there in the office that made it illegible. Um, Once I did that, I would then get everything put into the proper folder for it to be boxed up and stored in the proper storage for however long that the company stored it. Eventually, with that, the position did move over to an actual hospital location, which with that, I worked on like work on wheels, which was the scanner, the computer, and everything all on this one work cart. I would pretty much then scan the documents in real time, go room by room to scan whatever documents were in the medical chart so that the doctors could pull them in real time instead of having to wait until the full discharge.
Wow. Okay. Very, very important job. So, tell me some skills that you have that make you like an expert about what you do, because that's definitely very important. Putting the wrong file in the wrong or the wrong document in the wrong file, I'm sure can cause some big issues. So, what are some skills that you have that make you good at
I
what
would
you
say
were
the
doing?
skills that I have that make me good at what I'm doing. I pay attention to detail. I normally do double check everything before I get done with the specific chart, to make sure that everything is scanned. Of course, when I start, I make sure that I verify everything accordingly to make sure that it is the correct patient, the correct room number, and also when inserting any document into the system, making sure that it is the correct form that's being submitted to the correct folder.
Okay, wonderful. And let me see here. And then most recently, tell me what you were doing.
Most recently, I was doing chart abstracting, which that was a remote position for Baptist Health. With that, it was pretty much the same thing. I used the systems of Epic, Allscript, and Cerner. So I would pretty much take the records from Allscript and Cerner and convert those and transfer them into the Allscript system, make sure that everything was up to date as far as to the medications, any appointments that were coming up for the patient, make sure that there were no duplicates of any medical information or medications or anything like that. Make sure that the medical history was up to date, any demographics or any specific information for the patient. Make sure that everything was correct as it was transferred from system to system.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing a little bit about what you have done. So it looks like you were explaining to me before that you've done a bunch of temp assignments since COVID. So long term, what type of work do you enjoy doing? Like, what do you want? Where do you see yourself?
Long term, I would say I do enjoy the documents specialist, the health information management department, things of that nature. I mean, as far as to long term, if I do find or get a position that is permanent, that has the stability, I want to eventually be able to become a trainer for that department. So
Okay.
that's my long term goal.
All righty. And in your career, have you have any wins, any recognitions, anytime maybe that you've done something that you were spotlighted for? Any times that you'd like to share?
Yes, I've been given kudos a lot of times when I work with the company Centene.
Hmm.
Simply just members calling back, advising that I did a good job helping them on the call, making sure that everything got resolved for them. If it was a patient that was frustrated from a previous call, just making sure that I did everything I could to de-escalate and make sure that at this time they're happy. So yeah, I received kudos.
Okay. All right. I love that. What type of measurement did they use when you were at Centene? Like, was it you have like certain KPIs that you needed to hit each day?
At Centene, we did have different metrics. Of course, we had like speed of answer to make sure that we answered the call in a certain amount of time. We did have to notify and advise the caller if we were going to put them on hold. Um, with the quality, we did have to have at least a 95 score for passing our calls when we did our QAs. Um, so with that,
Okay.
like I said, it had like speed of answer, actually like making sure we don't put them on hold without, advising them of the time and at least acknowledging and letting them know that they're going to be put on hold, making sure we use the company name, my name, and things of that nature.
Okay, wonderful. All right. Well, don't hang up. I've got a few more things to chat about, but I'm going to end this portion of the interview. But like
Okay.
I said, don't hang up. I'll be right there.
Okay.